No, first you need to see that the USA is unequivocally helping Russia. The simple knowledge of this process described that President Trump's desire to win his war, he appears as a good person in this game. In truth, essentially, Trump uses the bathroom to end the war, to facilitate relations with Russia, to make Ukraine and all of Central Europe subdue Putin, so that when they appear to him, first of all, goals in Europe are realized. He created a state of non-prosperity in China, and from this point of view, it can be seen this way. Secondly, and firstly, in correction, it must be understood that in bed, it is what Trump aims for. There are people there who have died, that is his past. For him, it is important to charge relations with Putin, and he is objectively an ally of Putin. Therefore, he needs Putin. Putin is a standby mandate, and Trump is selling security. With Putin's help, he is able to create a system of empowerment, the fear of Europe. And such an image appears for security as seen in relation to Ukraine. It can appear on the other side because everyone did not fulfill promises, everyone appears guilty, all for different Trumps. And if you look at such an image, without Putin, it will be difficult to travel to Europe, difficult to travel to Japan, difficult to intimidate South Korea. And it must be understood that the standby bandit is in a pre-stroke condition, because Russia's economic situation is so outraged that it is impossible for this entire system will collapse, just like the Soviet Union collapsed. With the economy, it's over 40% for the war. This is higher than during the Soviet Union with declining indicators, because data on the turnover in Russia's railways have appeared, a 5.5% drop. We see that for Trump, the main challenge is Russia's weakness. What we talked about, that Russia's weakness is his strength. And one could say that on one hand, there is the potential for their cooperation to weaken Europe. On the other hand, there is the space for conflict, the question of Iran, because by all means, Trump wants to strike Iran. And the mistake that Trump made in all these matters, in my opinion, is that he underestimated Russia's dependence on China. He speaks to Putin as if he represents a sovereign side, when in reality, he did not acknowledge Russia's dependence on China. And here, it will become apparent in the issue of Iran. And so, how else will Russia be able to develop? No, Europe will develop like Trump and Russia. Because if Russia went for cooperation, which is what Trump wanted after the issue of Iran, at the end of the reaction, the same goes for China if Russia achieves some strategic goals in Europe. And this may grant such forms that they provide a sense of security to people who started to do some other two things in Russia. For example, I don't know, they declared the right to independence and so on and so on. Jobs. Later, Prigozhin showed that there are no internal forces in Russia, and this is the second point. Simply put, one must understand that external policy is always a reflection of internal policy. And we need to look at the processes that are happening from the perspective of what we have given in other areas. Putin came as a president where there were institutions, where there was a constitution, there were checks and so on, there were limitations, and then it turned out that it didn't work. In Warsaw, it is properly noted that we will be watching the process of Venezuelanization. USA.